All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our session on mobile use and best practices. I'm Kim Simmons. I'm a customer stewardship lead here, and I'm joined by our wonderful product manager, Ben, who can talk about more than just floor plan. He can
Can
talk about more than floor plan, believe it or not. And then
barely.
we've got Casey back again. If you were on our last session, you heard from her quite a bit. She's going to be managing our Q&A or our chats that are coming in. Try to use that chat channel if you can. Even better if you can try to do it in Zoom instead of Hoova, but not to worry, we'll get to everything. Oh, don't worry, Mike. We're not taking him away from floor plans. Trust me, he's going to share some more information about them later. We just can't tell Tim Cool what it is because then he's gonna
Tell
he's
everyone.
gonna unveil the news early. That's what'll happen there. But today, let's get started. And Ben is going to actually be showing what it looks like on a phone or a tablet as we're stepping through this. So we're going to start in Event Scheduler. We'll talk about some major uses for the mobile app, which is free. If you don't know that, go to your app store, search for eSpace. You're going to find it, download it, look for that lowercase e, the one you see in our upper right corner right now. You look for that lowercase e, it's a free app, download that to your device. So the
I
other
am
thing to
working.
know,
I apologize. I'm working on getting that shared. It might take me just a hot minute.
that's okay, I'll keep talking.
Okay.
Um, so the other thing to know is that your login credentials on the mobile app exactly the same as if you're sitting at a laptop or a desktop. So you don't need a separate login. All your permissions are going to be the same based upon what you have in the overall desktop laptop version or the web app version. That's what I should say. So we will, how you doing, Ben?
I'm getting close, real close.
Okay, he's getting close. So let's talk. First, I'm going to throw a question out there. Is everybody on the call using the mobile app? We've got at least 217 people, it says. I bet there's some of you that have more in the room. Let's hear who's using that mobile app. Oh, I see some no's. So this is going to be brand new information to some folks, which is great. Oh, I see someone didn't even know about the mobile app. Well, you are going to love this. And it is a different experience from being on on the web app on a laptop or desktop. That we will tell you right now. It is a very different experience. Obviously, when I'm going from this big giant screen that's in front of me that you guys can't see to this little tiny screen that's here, the experience gets a little bit different. There we go. That's what we
All
were looking to
right.
see.
These are
So,
these are live versions of an iPad that's sitting right in front of me, as well as as
oh,
well as my phone.
oh boy.
If notifications come through, I've got them turned off, but forgive me, please.
So if Ben gets a reminder or something, it will all see it, but I bet it's turned off. So let's start on the event scheduler side. So as you're looking at this, you obviously can see that depending on your mobile device, it's gonna look a little different based just upon the screen size. So the first thing to know is it's a little bit more like the desktop app when you're on a tablet, particularly when you have it rotated, because right now we're looking at Ben's iPad in a horizontal view versus holding it upright in that vertical view. When you go vertical, it changes. So that's the first hack that I'm going to share with you. If you can't quite see everything and you're using a tablet or even a phone, rotate it because it does make a difference. Now, when you're in on the mobile device and you want to see your left navigation menu, it's super easy to find. You're going to find it right at the top of the screen where the little three lines, we call that the hamburger, where the hamburger is. Just look for the hamburger and you'll see it there. All right, so just wanted to point that out. So we are looking at Ben's dashboard right now on his mobile device. And one of the first major uses that we know folks are using the mobile device for is, I need to set up my event. You know, you are someone who works on setting up events, getting them ready for what's happening. So if you go to that left navigation bar, look right there, event setup. So you can click on that. And that's going to open up, oh, the events for a day. Here we go. He must have blocked out his day today because of our training. So tomorrow we have quite a few events coming up. You can easily just click on that event setup button. And here you go. Now look at what we see here. I knew we wouldn't keep him away from everything. We see a floor plan down there, don't we, under configuration? But right
Possibly.
here, I know exactly what my event time is, my setup, my tear down, everything I need in my space. And as you scroll down within this event, you'll see all of the different details that are here. It's almost too easy. Now, one of the things to note is what people put in their setup. This goes back to your users. If you're creating events and you're putting information in your setup, then folks who are doing setup will see that information. So make sure you're using the notes, make sure you're using configurations, make sure you're doing that. And when you're done with this one and you're ready to move on, hit that back arrow at the upper left side. And it's going to take you right back to this event setup group. Oh, there you go. Okay, so you continue on. It's super easy, super straightforward to do your event setup here. Now, if we pop over to our tablet, again, in the horizontal view, this is pretty much the same as having a laptop with you. You are really seeing all the same things. So what would you do to do your event setup here? I am a big fan under reports to look at reports and to use the setup report. It's under other reports. It's right there, event setup. I like the one that does not say legacy the best. That's my preference because I can go in here to this and it is going to allow me to pick the day. I can pick today, I can pick tomorrow, I can pick a range of dates, whatever I want, simple dates or custom dates. And I can scroll down and I can narrow it down. You know, do I want to look at everything? Maybe I am only in charge of one location event setups. I can narrow that down. I can pick certain rooms. So this is a great way for me to get as much information as I need to do my setup. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, and I'll show you another hack that I like to tell people about. We automatically toggle on notes. Well, I personally like to toggle on forms, attachments, and contacts. And the reason I like to do that, let's run this report. You know, this is fun. I don't often get to give Ben instruction. He's usually teaching me something, so this is great. When I run this report, I am able, first of all, this report is going to come out for the time range you chose. It's going to come out in date and time order. So I'm going to see this based off what needs to be done first. So I can scroll down and I can see the spaces and stop right there for a second. You can see, I can see resources and services that are needed. If there was a note associated with those, I would see those in here. I also know who the contact is. Now, why is that important on my event? We know who the event owner is. That means that's the person who entered the event details. But many times events have a contact person who's there the day of. The person who's going to call you if they didn't get what they think they asked for, or if it's too hot or it's too cold, or whatever the case is. Well, now you know who that contact person is. It's right there. And let's scroll down a little bit more and see if we can find an example. Yeah, this is a great example right here where we can see not only the spaces, resources, and services and all the notes here, but there was a form in this case that needed to be filled out. Now, maybe you as the person setting up the room, maybe this particular form isn't important, but perhaps there's other forms that could be. You know what forms were filled out, you know what questions and answers were provided. If you scroll down just a little bit more, you see those documents. If I uploaded a document on the event details page of my event when I created it, it's right there and it's clickable. And I can open that document right up. So, I mean, everything is right here. Using this on a tablet for event setup, it's great, great. And for those of you that are still printing, think of the savings over time. No paper versus live. The other positive thing about this is it's live. So if I run this report right now, I'm getting the most up-to-date information for my events. I'm not looking at something that was printed 3 days ago for the week. I'm looking at the live data. Another huge thing to include here. Okay, also in Event Scheduler, why don't we go back to the dashboard for our both of these. Well, let's go look at the dashboard for a second. I'm not going to spend much time on the iPad view because I think you all understand what the dashboard looks like. And definitely in the specific event scheduler and work order management, you are going to probably hear a little bit more about the dashboard. But this is a great space to manage your events. If you have a dashboard, whether you're a user, a sub-admin, or an admin, you can open events from each of your dashboard grids. You can click into the event to view more details if you need to. You can approve, you can decline if you have those permissions. So you really can do all of the things that you need to do right here from this app. Now, as someone who used to be an admin and at a large church, I can tell you this became critical for me for those things that were up and coming. I knew there were some things, coming in the next few days. Maybe somebody made some changes and we needed to check that out and get that through and push it through. But if I look at this very first one, next door outreach training that I see on both views, pay attention to that little clock icon if you're an administrator. That clock icon is something I know Casey and I talk about a lot. It tells you what is pending. So in the case of the first item, we don't have anything pending for this administrative view. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means I can do a quick approval. There's no sub-admin that I'm waiting on, but look at the one that Ben just opened on the, there we go, on the phone view. I know that I have these 3 items are part of an approval area, and I am waiting for a sub-admin to do their thing. And we see this question a lot. Guess what? You can follow them up right here. See the send email button? I can click that send email button. I can do this when I'm in another meeting. I can do this when I'm walking between meetings. I can do this while I'm out, checking the church property, whatever I need to do. So you're really managing your dashboard and your actions live in the mobile app. Same thing, somebody has a question, tell me about this event. Is this event happening somewhere? You can look at the calendar, you can and see what's happening on a day, or for a range of days if you're looking for something specific, just like you use the calendar on the web app. It's right here. Everything's clickable. I can click into these events. I can open them up. I can get more details. I can respond to any questions that I'm being asked in the moment. It's all right there. Thank you for showing that, Ben. That is where you will find the tabs. So when you first open an event and if you're on a phone, you may not see that, where do I get to all the different tabs? I'm used to seeing tabs across the top. use that drop down arrow that's in the upper right corner, and you'll be able to move to those areas that you know as tabs when you're viewing on the web app. All right. Settings. That's another thing. Now, if you're an admin, there are times that you need on the fly to take a look at settings. And now, if you were using the mobile app a while ago, you maybe didn't see all your settings. As time has progressed, we've added more and more items to the mobile app. So when you are getting a question, you need to look at a setting on something. Why did this happen? How did that happen? You can, again, use your mobile app and answer this. Great if you are, again, on the fly, you're in a meeting, you're home. I'm sure nobody on this call, right? Nobody here on this webinar gets called at home, right? You don't carry your computer with you everywhere you go. I know I don't. So you have the mobile app, I can answer the questions. So there you go. All right, let's hop over to the work order side of things, Ben. Now, a lot of good use on the event scheduler side. And you'll see that on the work order side, things are structured the same. You still will have that little drop down hamburger at the upper left corner. We're seeing it on the iPad. And I'll see my dashboard grid. There we go. And so we'll see the dashboard just like you see on the event scheduler side. All right, if you click on the three lines, you're going to see your left navigation bar, just like you do on Event Scheduler. So if you're managing your work or your work orders, you can do it right from your dashboard, just like you can do on the web app. You're going to see all your dashboard grids. You have the ability to add a work order, and I didn't mention that on the Event Scheduler side. Yeah, you can add an event over there. It's pretty much in the same spot. So add an event. And you can step through all of the necessary details when you do that. I love this for those of us that are facility folks. I know that you are walking through the building, you've got a list of things that need to be done, and you just need to add a work order. You see something, you know it needs fixed, and you can add it right here easily. So this is a great way to do that. You also see some other features. Now look at that scan barcode option. What is that all about? So the barcodes can be used for equipment as well as inventory. So if you are utilizing the work order module, you know that you can set up pieces of equipment, the things that you take care of. You know, your HVAC units, your riding lawnmowers, your riding vacuum cleaners, all those things that you have that you're taking care of in your facility to show that. All right, you can barcode those items and then appropriately scan them. You notice Ben just clicked the equipment button, and look at that. We're looking at equipment on his iPad right now. We can see all of those pieces of equipment down there. He's doing a little bit of a search to narrow it down because I think he's got some specific examples that he's going to show us. Ben, do we want to grab that fire extinguisher and see what happens? Now, did you just scan that or you just opened it?
I just opened it, but now I will. Okay,
so when Ben clicked scan barcode, you notice it asked permission to open his camera. Okay, so he did that real quick, but it did that. So now he's going to scan the barcode on this fire extinguisher. I've been told Ben carries a fire extinguisher everywhere he goes. He didn't prepare just for this. So when he scanned that, because that identifier is already associated with his piece of equipment, look what pulled up on his phone. We see that piece of equipment, and now he has options. He can edit that piece of equipment, which is going to take us to the view like we see on the iPad, but he also can create a brand new work order for this piece of equipment. Maybe he noticed that this fire extinguisher has expired, and so he needs a work order so he can remember to replace it. He could create a work order. He also could add this fire extinguisher to a work order, an existing work order. So you get a work order. I know this never happens. It's too hot in my office. That work order never comes. But in the course of responding to that work order, you identify, you know what? The HVAC unit's really not running. So I really do have a problem. Something has gone wrong. You can now scan that barcode that is on your HVAC unit and create a work order, or you add it to the work order that came in that said it's too hot, and then add the next steps to that work order. So you can do either of those things right here from that mobile device. I think there's a lot of folks that maybe haven't seen the scanning before. And so I want to pause for a second, Casey, and see where are we with some questions.
Yeah, I have a couple. So one question that popped up was there's a little bit of difference sometimes between the iOS version of the app and the Android version of the app. Would Ben, maybe you have some insight to that?
I would probably need to know some specifics if we could send those in, likely as some support tickets. Our goal is to have good parity between all of the apps.
Definitely.
It's not the intention, and we would work with our the service we use to build our mobile app to remedy that.
Yes, always let us know at support. That's support at smartchurchsolutions.com. And it's always helpful if you send us screen recordings when you submit those tickets and emails. One question, where do I find scan barcode? Not seeing that. Mel, I think that maybe you don't have, you're not on the ultimate tier. Scan barcode is included with Asset Pro, which is available on our ultimate tier. If you have basic or premium tier with work order management, you're not going to be offered that opportunity.
And Kim asked a question, Kim Segoria, scanning any equipment, or does it have to be something in the system first? And so I just scanned a barcode on my book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, so a book everyone has on their shelf. And so that prompted me here on my phone to, it came up with the option to add as an inventory item or add as equipment. I clicked add as equipment. And so now I can add the equipment name, description, and all of the information on that piece of equipment to set up as a new piece of equipment. That's what I did with my fire extinguisher earlier when preparing. So that was already in eSPACE. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yep.
Excellent.
And I will tell you, it's kind of fun when I happen to be troubleshooting some of the things you guys might send into us. I walk around my office here at home, and anything with a barcode is free game. So I've got all kinds of crazy stuff in my account because I take my mobile device and I just start scanning barcodes to test things and see how it works. So I love doing that. I did see a question from Joe about generating barcodes.
Yep, that was going to be the next one I threw out.
All right. Can you go to the equipment list there? Can you turn horizontal for me?
I can.
Thank you.
Hold on. Buckle those seatbelts.
Nope. I know. Now, you see that print barcodes right there? There you go. So right at the in kind of the middle of the screen, you'll see that orange-ish button that says print barcodes. So if you're utilizing the barcode feature with Asset Pro or inventory management, this is where once you've got your identifier, you're going to be able to print those barcodes. Now, this is specifically for the equipment side of the house. Now, when you talk about your inventory, what's the difference? That's a really good distinguishing factor. Most things that you have in your inventory come with a barcode on them. These are the things that you use, you purchase, you keep a supply of, and then you use them up over time. So that can be, any number of things, filters, filters for your furnace, or maybe it can be cases of copier paper. It can be light bulbs that you keep a small supply of. So you'll see Ben showing us some current inventory. And we classify those as inventory because what the system is going to do in this case is it's going to keep track. You're going to have a starting inventory number. Maybe you have 10 of these filters. And then as you use them, it's going to reduce them from your inventory. And then you'll eventually order more and you'll replenish. How does the system know to take something out of inventory? Well, you can request inventory. We see that on the phone over there. You can scan the barcode.
Sorry, turn my
That's
filter
okay.
here.
You can see I can scan that barcode on that item and add it to my existing work order if I need to. Or if I just happen to be doing some work in the supply room and I'm doing a recount, I can do manual quantity adjustments. Sometimes we forget maybe to add something to a work order, but we took it off the shelf. So that, it happens. We're all human, right? So it allows you to adjust your inventory manually as well. So the inventory, think about that as things coming in, things going out. Usually when you're first adding those to your inventory list, you're going to just scan the barcode that's on the item. So you're really not going to need to print one. You don't need to do that. You're going to have it right there and available to you. All right, I'm going to take another little bit of a pause. Do you have more Q&A items, Casey?
No, I just want to speak to the fact that if you cannot see barcodes within your mobile app, if you cannot see the ability to scan a barcode or to do anything with barcodes, you may not be on our ultimate tier. That is a feature that's available with Asset Pro, which is part of our ultimate tier. You might be on basic or premium. Go ahead after this session and check the payment tier, the pricing tier that you're at, or have your system admin or your billing contact do that. You will need to upgrade to Ultimate if you're not there yet to see that. If you are an Ultimate customer and you're not seeing that, send us an email at support@smartchurchsolutions.com so we can check that out for you.
Thank you for those good reminders. Good reminders. All right. Anything else, Casey? No?
Mike wanted clarification. Inventory is consumables, equipment is an item or device, correct? You want to break that?
That is the best way to distinguish it. Absolutely. Inventory are those consumable items, the things you use, replace, use again, etc. Equipment are more those hard pieces of items that are running your building and you're taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's the best way to think about them.
And then a lot of people still
look at Tom Metz giving us a tip or trick here.
Yeah.
All right. He is so right on this one. You can, in your equipment, if you don't want to print all your barcodes again, and you just need to print a couple or, just a subset of them, do some filtering. So when you're in here, that top portion up there of the screen, this allows you to search and filter for specific items. And so you do that searching, it's going to find just that subset, and you'll be able to print only those barcodes. So you won't have to print them all. Plus, you have the ability to check, uncheck. If you forget what I just told you and you go to print them all, you're going to get this next screen, and you can certainly uncheck and then just check the ones you want. But I like Tom's tip and trick there. do that search first. It'll help narrow it down. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about inventory. Let's open a work order, Ben, and let's add a piece of inventory to it. So we can go back and show that it actually reduced the inventory for a particular item. And maybe we just want to scan something. You want to scan one of the items you just have sitting there and start there?
Oh, we can do that.
Let's do that and add it to the work order.
Tap the add to existing work order.
Yeah, let's add to an
Button.
existing work order.
All right. Can we use an air filter to replace the refrigerator door? That works. That makes sense, right?
Maybe not. But we're playing. We can do whatever we want.
We
All
need
right, so we've
5 of
added
them.
this,
Definitely 5 of them.
and we're going to use 5 because the door on that refrigerator is big. So we're going to have to duct tape a few of them together. Oh, goodness. All right, we can add some notes if we want to, but you see what we've done is we scanned that piece of inventory. Now you have the option in your account to decide when inventory gets reduced from the total number. And that's happening. Your admin set that up and they chose one of 2 things. They're either going to reduce inventory when they add an item to a work order or when the work order is closed. So let's hit save on this one. We've added this to this work order. Where would I find that if I needed to find it in the future? I would go to the little drop down arrow. Let's say we're on the details tab. Let's just kind of start over. I would go to the drop down arrow. I would go to my costs tab. I know that's where we were, but I wanted to just show you how to navigate there. And I can see that I've added 5 furnace filters to this work order. Great. So if we go look at, let's do it on the iPad. Let's go open that piece of inventory now. You can hit current inventory. And let's find that furnace filter.
Oops. Autocorrect got me good. Oops. Right here.
All right, are you good? You got the right one?
Yep.
All right, let's hit the details button. We can see that we've got the right one. All right, doesn't look like we've reduced the inventory yet. There's 25 of them still there. So I think we're going to have to mark this work order as completed. And this is just the setting for the account that happens to be here. And it might take a little refresh, but what's going to happen now is we're going to reduce that inventory down to 20. And we're going to be able to see, that we have fewer of those available. That's going to keep going. And that's how inventory works for you. Now, I realize I branched a little bit away from just using the mobile app, but the benefit of this mobile app, look at that. We now have 20. The benefit of inventory is, guess what? I can put a trigger in there that says, hey, when I get down to 5, notify me to do a reorder. So as someone who might be in charge of the supplies that you keep on hand, this is a great way to keep track of when you need to order some stuff. All right, let's get back to specifically on that mobile app. You can see on the app how we can do all of the management of your dashboard, events, work orders, inventory, equipment, right here. I've already said you're on the run. We know that, but you have staff who probably never sit at their computer or rarely sit at their computer. So how can we equip them with the tools they need, all the information they need in a way that is effective, and demonstrates great stewardship? Now, I already did my spiel about not printing. I'm a not printer. I don't love to print paper. That's just me. I realize sometimes it needs to happen. My bigger part of that, though, is live information. When you're using the mobile device, you're using the tablet, your information is current. It's right there. It's live. Now, Ben might have got a little help mocking up how we could best equip our facilities folks if they have a tablet. And I think he wants to share a photo with you. I know he does.
Oh, man, I'm gonna,
Oh man, are we gonna mess everything up when we do this? Now look at that. Now, that is our AI generated, we're gonna call that the eSPACE facility cart right there. And proportionally, that tablet looks a little bit larger than it probably is in real life. Maybe. But the point being, if you've got folks they're in charge of maintenance, they're in charge of care and keeping of your building, they're in charge of scheduling events, what better way to equip them to not only give them everything they need at their fingertips, but also to do it here with the information. It's great to have all the tools, and it's great to have all of the chairs and the tables and know where everything is, but the information for those things is huge, and to get that to them at their fingertips is what we recommend the mobile app for. All right, I have totally no concept of time, so Casey, I hope you're keeping track of this for me, because I'm not. Do we have any questions we should jump to?
Let's see here. I've been answering them a lot in the chat.
Any common items that folks?
Well, Philip asked a great question that I was in the process of answering. He wanted to know the general consensus, and people are welcome to answer Philip in the chat too. But he wanted to know, when it comes to using the mobile app, this is largely something that's used on mobile devices. Many of our mobile devices are personal use, especially with phones. He wanted to know about the level of resistance from employees, if anybody knows anything about that. I know a lot of our customers have kind of a shared iPad that's used for the mobile app, and they have that on their go, on their custodial carts, things like that. So that was kind of a good point. Everybody else can jump in there and give him input on that one. That can be from the user body. Again, if you're not seeing that orange scan barcode button on your mobile app, you may not be in the correct pricing tier. I've put links in the chat about our pricing tiers and the different levels and costs. If you need to check the tier that you're in, you can access that on your billing page, top right corner under your profile. If you are a billing admin, if you are not, you may need to reach out to your organization billing admin to check and see which tier you're on there.
All right.
a note
Ben, where are
for,
you going? What are you doing here?
I'm playing with toys.
Okay, I know, I can tell. He's gonna change his dashboard settings, isn't
Yeah,
he?
that was just a note for Rohan there. You can organize your dashboard with what you want to see, and that will cascade into the mobile app as well on your order of things on your dashboard. And I just wanted to show quick, because this was an enhancement we made late last year as well. When you go to complete a work order, we made adding hours for completing that work order much easier. So I can look at this assigned work order. We'll just go to this one here. I'll mark complete. I can mark this task complete, and you can note how many hours that took. So that's a way to kind of close out work orders and easily note, if you guys are doing time tracking, you can easily note how much time that's taken.
Yep, so notice that Ben said, if you're doing the time tracking, this is a setting at your admin, that your admin controls on whether or not you're doing that level of tracking. with your work orders. But yeah, it's definitely much easier in that mobile app with that enhancement, which is great. So if you have edited your dashboard settings already, and we kind of see that on the tablet view here, and we saw that, I think Becca showed that a little bit in the previous session. So whatever order you have those grids in here should carry over to your mobile device. If it's not, make sure you open a ticket and let us know that. But also notice you've got some options here where you can not only mark whether you want them to be hidden or collapsed. You can show how many rows you would like to appear on a single page for a grid. So if 15 is the default, do I want to see more than 15 items under a grid before I have to page forward? Personally, no, I probably want less, but that's just me. Everybody has their own preferences there, but you've got the ability to also set the sorting keys. What are the primary and secondary fields of the fields that are in that grid that you'd like to see your work orders or events sorted by? Yes, the same logic is on the event side of the house when you're updating those dashboard settings. You can set those sort fields, primary and secondary, for your mobile view as well. And do they have to be the same? They don't. But I don't know why they wouldn't be, but they don't. You guys, as Casey would say, can go bananas. I have to work that into every single session, by the way.
Yes.
Check,
Love
mark.
it.
I got it done. All right. So anything else you've seen come in?
Yeah, I wonder if you guys might be willing to flip it back over to Event Scheduler.
Sure. Let's do it.
I think there were a couple people that popped in late. Well, you guys have about 7 minutes left. We could maybe look at a couple things. One of my most favorite things in Event Scheduler on the mobile app, again, is that event setup that you can access there from the navigational menu under the 3 lines and the event setup option about midway down.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be such a great tool. Again, I just wanted to display that for a lot of people that came in and have spent a lot of time using work order management. But if you click that blue event setup button again, that's where you're going to get a lot of those details. Not only are you going to see that configuration there and the setup details, but Kim, any forms that have come from Form Builder, they're going to be included here, right?
In here?
In the event setup.
No, I don't think in this view. I can't remember which event we found that on. I know I can choose to have them display on when I do a report, event setup report. Oh, there it is.
Mhm.
Form, question, and answers. Look at that. See, I just learned something new. I love this. I learn something new every time we do this. So if we had some form, question, and answers, we would see them here.
Mm-hmm. And it's at the bottom, Ben. I think, Ben, you're controlling the mobile app. I don't know who's driving what right now, but conference room A, the documents, if you had any uploads that were already included and attached to this event, those could have come from the document library.
Yep.
They could have been uploaded right with this event. Those are also going to be viewable and accessible right here within the mobile app. So a lot of information right there in your hand with your mobile app.
So great. Thanks for that, Casey. That's awesome. All right.
A lot of people, someone said I prefer the desktop version, but having the mobile app is so helpful when I'm away from home. I get those dreaded calls regarding events and can get answers at my fingertips. Yes. Can we all just give that a big amen? And a lot of not only at home, but a lot of our facilities team members that are either setting up for events, recovering events, or performing the work of a work order, they don't have stationary offices that they can hang out in a lot. They may share an office, and if they do, they definitely don't have a lot of time to hang out at their desk on the desktop application. So having both those tools right at their hands in the mobile app, right with their phone in their back pocket or on an iPad where they can carry it around the building with them. Man, talk about the increased efficiency that comes from that.
Exactly. Now I know Stacia is just asking about those images she saw on Ben's screen. Now those particular images are, I believe, unless Ben did something special, those are coming from configurations. And so as an admin, you have the opportunity to set up configurations that can be attached to your spaces. And you can have images of those right here. Look at that. So in this particular case, this account has been set up so that each room has a possibility of different or set configurations. And you'll find that under settings, advanced. As an admin, you'll see settings, you'll see advanced, and you'll see configurations partially down, and that's where you can set those up. Now, it looks an awful lot like floor plan. And I know that there's more to come. That's all I can say. Because I listen, because I'm not Tim Cool. I don't give the information out early. All right, before we wrap up, let's just address future improvements. And Ben is our project manager. I know you have a little bit you want to add about future plans for the mobile app.
Yeah, just a couple notes. Looking at kind of standardizing our navigation, like how you move back and forth within the app. We've got some standardization that we can do there. Additionally, yes, we want floor plan to be available on mobile app. You can see it. You can see it listed here on iPad. Landscape wise, the functionality is limited currently with floor plan, and so want to see usability of floor plan on a mobile app. That's coming down the road. And the other teaser would be as we look at some updates to the eSPACE user interface, that will also bring some additional functionality to the mobile app. And I will tease at that level for now, but good things coming.
Awesome. All right, looking at our time, Casey, how are we doing? Any quick questions we can address before we wrap up and get people a little bit of time to maybe take a quick break, refresh the water or the coffee before the next session?
You guys are ending right on time. As a matter of fact, I don't see any new questions. So I think breakout sessions are coming next.
Yes, they are. And so join us in our breakout sessions. I know Casey's got one, I've got one. There's some other exciting ones happening. So if you have a key topic that you're interested in, and go ahead and join those breakout sessions. They're a little less formal, so a lot more interactive conversation. And we will be recording those. So if you can't make it to, you want to go to 2 of them or 3 of them or all of them, don't worry. We're going to record those breakout sessions. So they'll be available in the recordings that you're sent after our conference concludes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody have a great day. I look forward to seeing more of you in the next sessions.
Thanks all.
All right, bye.
Bye.